All right. Happy Sunday. We're pressing record again. We had a special guest, but I wanted to make sure I still had this conversation with everybody on this Sunday, which is in alignment with some pretty interesting energy. Could be intense, could be overwhelming a little bit for some maybe, but it's also a very precise energy. Okay, there's a very precise energy happening right now. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you make sure the door locked? Thank you. Locked. I just wanted to make sure the screen door closed. I just wanted to make sure it looked like we closed. Yeah, I figured. I felt like it did. Okay, I'm pulling up my notes real quick. 1 second to share. Thank you, sister. Okay, take notes. Y'all know when I say take notes, it's time to take notes. Take notes. All right, this is just the notes that was shared with our Align and Thrive group on their moon call. For those who didn't see that, check the GroupMe app or just reach out to me. I'll send you the replay of that moon call and the notes. It was a pre-recorded moon call that I sent out yesterday to you all. So nonetheless, before I get into the notes, let me remind you, full moon is a wonderful time to sit and reflect and to do the work to release. I think what I want to have is a conversation about this idea of release because it is a thought in my mind that sometimes release is looked at in a way where you're expecting results of something like physical, like an immediate physical result, or you don't feel like it's released unless you see something released, unless you see the release. Or you gravitate to these physical ways of feeling like you've released. Burning a paper, going to dip yourself in a water, doing something in the physical. All those things are amazing. But this is the conversation I want to have. Your release is an inner things that happen in your inner chamber. The true release is an inner thing that happens in your inner chamber. So even if you go do your Ori cleansing, you're dipping in the river, your spiritual baths, your cord cutting, candle burning, all of those different things are beautiful. But I'm telling you, the release comes on the inside. Your rendezvous with your beloved, your spiritual surgeries, your spiritual feedings, your spiritual cleansings all happen within. In the heart space, in the gut, in the mind, the perception, the glands within the head. This is where the renewal happens. Okay? So the renewal has to affect or will affect the attitude, the perception, the way you receive information, the way you react to situations. This is where the release happens. So oftentimes I feel we're so often looking outward to see if the release happened, where you're not realizing that because it's not happening on the inside, you're not seeing it happen on the outside. We're also very much so groomed to drop into victim mode and blaming this villain victim relationship we're very attached to, where it take us a long time to get out of victim mode to be able to go within. So if you have a tendency, check yourself and be real with yourself. If you have a victimhood tendency, that's one of the first things you're going to have to work on in order to go deeper and be able to do that inner work and also abide within. Because the tendency to drop in victim mode is your fight for power and validity. If I'm a victim, then that will validate how I feel. And it can empower me because I can blame somebody so that the quote unquote weakness doesn't fall on me. But in reality, and I don't even like the word weakness, but I'm just using it for the sake of being able to understand where I'm coming from. The reality is, it's not a weakness, but it is a place that needs to be strengthened. And when you go into victim mode, you're creating an energetic dam to the healing. Because now you're putting it on somebody. So now the requirement is for that somebody to heal it. And let me want the tea? They ain't gonna never heal it, baby. Never, no matter how much you go back. Well, maybe if they understood me, and maybe no, sugar pie, honey bun. You know I won't lie to you. Oh, you're gonna have to help yourself. It's on you and nobody else. Hey, listen, so we can be clear. All right. So, release. What did we end up talking about this morning? I didn't even plan on this. I was going to go through the notes. We're not doing that. We're talking about what true release is. And I'm grateful that it's coming because oftentimes I hear people say, I released that last full moon. I feel like I'm burning the same thing every full moon. Hey, listen, if you have to burn the same thing every full moon, burn it every full moon. But I'm telling you, consider this. You possibly are looking for something to change on the outside, and you haven't sat still and asked yourself or reminded yourself that that which is without mirrors that which is within. Well, now that can't be, Queen. Do you know what I'm seeing outside? I'm saying you might have to reflect a bit deeply to see what it is. Why is this experience the same way? You may need some support with that. That is fine. But I'm telling you that inner work is what shifts the outer. Inner work. And a lot of it is your, take note, attitude, perception, the way you receive information, the way you react to situations. Okay? Take that with you. Your attitude and your perception. That's what this David and Goliath story is about. That's what Jesus being crucified on the cross and the cross with the oil is talking about. This symbolism right here is the crossing out of carnal mind. That's what this is. That's what this is. The crossing out. There has been an intersection of carnal mind. There's been an intersection of left, right brain, of all of that. It's been an intersection. I am crossing out the carnal mind and I am looking at this perception. I am looking at this through my God's eye, through divine consciousness, through Christ consciousness, through truth. I'm looking at this, everything. I'm looking at it all through that eye. So that becomes my perception, which is going to shape my attitude. So now my attitude is also founded and grounded in the reality of God. A field worker today, so she's going to come and open up. Thank you, though. That becomes my grounding on how I even approach life. So now my perception has renewed and shifted, and my attitude has renewed and shifted. So, what do you think is going to shift now? The way I see things and the way I approach things from my attitude, it's going to interact, it's going to determine how I receive things, and it's going to determine how I react to things. If I'm reacting from my divine mind, my perception is the perception of a one who sees through divinity, then of course my reality is going to shift and to match that. It's not magic. It's just what it is. That's how it goes. That's how it flows. So, take that message of release. All right. What I want you to do during this full moon period is I want you to look at everything that you are thinking that you need to release, desiring release, everything that you, excuse me, everything that you feel like it's coming to a close, because but you can't quite bring it to a close, or things that you know you want to shift and change, but you can't see the change. This is what I want you to focus on during this full moon. And I want you to focus on an inner release, an inner release. Inner has something to do with perception, attitude. How am I perceiving this thing that has resistance? What is my attitude about this thing that has resistance? How am I receiving? I said perceiving, but how am I receiving it? Meaning, like, do I receive it as a, a an insult? Do I receive it as a threat? Do I receive it as punishment? Do I receive it as a lesson? Do I receive it as a blessing? Do I receive it? How am I receiving it? How do I receive it? It's like somebody sending a text. You're gonna receive it from where your vibe is. I've sent texts and be like, why you say it like that? I have no idea what do you mean. This is literally words on a screen. You're perceiving from wherever your attitude is. So how are you receiving those things in your life? Some of us are receiving circumstances, situations as, man, this is because I'm not worthy, or this is because I don't know, but how are you receiving it? And then how am I reacting? Check in on how you're reacting to life. I had to check my son the other day. He didn't even know, but he's gotten into this habit of reacting to certain messages or whatever in a kind of this kind of like fresh. I said, stop. And I know it doesn't seem like he is actually frustrated, but I said, stop. Don't build that habit of reacting to things in a certain way. Sometimes we've built habits of reaction that we need to cut, because it's because you keep reacting that way that you keep getting the same results. So this is what I'm saying. This is the kind of spiritual surgery I'm suggesting during this full moon. Inner release on these things. How am I perceived? These are the questions that you want to ask. And the things that resistant. Alice is asking me, can you give me an example? Where do you have resistance in your life? Well, Queen, what do you mean by resistance? Where do you feel stressed about? What do you feel worried about, sad about, scared about, resentful about, shame about, guilty about, lackful about? What resistance? All of that is resistance. Impatient about, frustrated about, dissatisfied, irritated, whatever, any of the resistance. Take any of those. Throw me one, somebody. What, y'all ain't got no resistance? Give thanks. I'm gonna be like y'all when I grow up. What a resistance at? Come on, y'all. What a resistance. Give me at least one. Fear. Okay, give me specific. Give me a specific. Fear about, you don't have to be too specific, but fear about, hey girl, da 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 da, an outcome. Fear that something is not going to turn out in the way that I wanted to turn out. Am I on the right track? Fear that, okay, and am I going to lose something? What am I lose? Fear I'm gonna lose something if it don't come out how I want it to? Is that the fear? Come on, girl, you gotta explain to me, because you know, big mama, we don't be scared about stuff. So you gotta. We don't be scared. Girl, maybe you need to be scared. What's going on? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Failure. Okay. And then that failure will have you to lose something. Girl, I be had to reel myself in. I had to have a self-talk the other day, like, girl, you be going after, don't you? So I don't know. All right. So fear. All right, let's take that fear. Fear of an outcome that something is not going to come out how I want it to come out. And I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose in this. This could create a loss. Okay. So address that from the perception, the attitude. So the perception is, I don't know. I'm gonna guess what the perception may be. The perception may be there's a chance that I'm gonna lose. There's a chance that I'm gonna lose something. So then that perception has to shift. So there's a mantra that I often hold that says anything that's mine I will never lose. Anything that's mine and is in alignment with my greatest good, I could never lose. Anything that's mine and is in alignment with my greatest good, I could never lose. Anything that's mine is in alignment with my greatest good, I could never lose. You just shifted your perception. Anything that is supposed to unfold in favor of my greatest good, I know is unfolding. How do you shift your perception and your attitude? Answer. How do you shift your perception and your attitude about it? It's the same formula always, Greetings. It's the same formula always. How do you, she'll help you. Sister Fia help you. Can you help her out, please? How do you shift your perception and your attitude? Tab. There we go. Give me thanks. I was gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all go. Tab it out. Pray, praise. Somebody said pray, praise, affirm. Yes, 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 yes. Release and then affirm. Yes, 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 yes. Prayer, meditation, affirmation. Yes, 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 yes. So now you just shifted your perception and your attitude. Then now how you receive information and how you react to that situation. So now when you receive a little resistance, maybe you trying something out and it's not really working how you do it, what will be your reaction to it? Now that your perception and your attitude has changed about this situation or about the possibility of you failing, now if things were to come up that trigger this fear, because that's the biggest issue, right? Fears are really just false evidence appearing real, right? So now all of this false evidence gonna pop up. So when the false evidence pop up, how do you react to it? Be patient with yourself and the process. Be still and pray. Okay, y'all might know a little something. You know what I'm saying? Pray. Period. Go take a nap. Always help. Always help. Rest assured. Quiet the mind and pray. Ground, take those shoes off, go hug a tree, hug a baby. Oh, Kimora. Oh, the baby. I saw a baby while we was out the other day. She was so pretty. Have no idea who, I got a new niece and we didn't even know it was right outside while we got a new niece. They took pictures and everything. They was like, oh, she never smiles at anyone. Breath work. Proclaim God has already made a way and walk in it. Okay, yes. That's release. That's release. That's release. Now go take a spiritual bath. See how that thing hit. Now go take a dip in the water. Now light a candle and say, this is the light of God that's shining in my life through this situation, this circumstance, and blah, 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 blah. And then you snuff that out and know that the energy is sealed. Because sometimes we do these outward rituals and all these different things, but you're not having the shift on the inside. Okay, that's the message for today. Internal shift is necessary. In the grand scheme of it all, it's all about what's within. It's the inner chambers. And we are being reminded of that for the next several new moons and full moons because it's necessary. If we pull out and start paying attention to this whole world and living outward, or if we keep living outward, then, you know, this is where dis-ease comes from, and dis-ease comes from inflammation, and inflammation comes from being inflamed with this life. And inflammation is not just mucus, it's not just, no, it is irritation, it is anger, it is sadness, it is worry, it is fear. That's at the base of inflammation. Especially anxiety is huge right now. Anxiety. A lot of people, you haven't had an anxiety attack for years, they're creeping up because the energy of the collective is high. So it's essential, ground, hug, smile, laugh, breathe, breath work, meditation classes, Reiki, massages, pleasure, goodness, joy, praise, okay, gratitude, essential. Because even if you're like, well, I don't even deal with, the collective energy is high. And the collective high energy is fear, anger, people are angry, frustration, people are very frustrated, and hopelessness. But then you do have a great population that is grounded in truth, balanced, zen, excited about life, realizing that this is a beautiful time to be alive despite it all. Those who realize that we are cosmic beings and we are divine beings and we can live beyond this world. Those who have taken that fifth dimensional shift and continue to take that fifth dimensional shift, it's a beautiful time to be alive. And we are the lights. So for those who are experiencing a higher vibration of that anxiety and fear and hopelessness and anger and all of that, you the light. So don't be, I don't want to hear all that. Well, that's why I don't even, baby, I don't deal with people, honey. No, we're not here for that. This little light of mine is here for us to shine. It's for us to be out here and be amazing and let God work through us and heal on purpose and in purpose and do the things and take those leaps and do the things so we can have the stories to tell. Because how else? Or else you're going to find yourself just over in that collective as well. Be the light. Guard your gates. Now, I ain't, guard your gates, but be a light. Have your boundaries, but be a light. You're required to. You are only experiencing that circumstance or situation so that you can be a vessel of God in that situation to shine the light however it's supposed to shine. Every circumstance or situation you in, from the smallest one, you have the opportunity to be a reflection of the reality of God in that situation. See yourself as that. You have the opportunity to express yourself as grace, express yourself as mercy, express yourself as clarity, express yourself as the mightiness and all of that. Express, I'm not saying yourself as in the man, I'm saying yourself as one with God, one with the Father. I am one with the Father. So that attitude of I'm gonna leave these folks alone because these folks all going to hell. No. Stop it. No. No. Get past it, Now again, I'm not saying be a doormat and all that, but God don't make us like that, no way. So if you start to feel like that, then that's again, gotta go in, that's an inner thing. Amen. All right. Well, we have time because I have someone in the store with me today. So let's go ahead and take a brief moment of meditation. And since we had the conversation, pardon me, about release, let's allow what it feels like in the body to totally release and be open. And so this is what's necessary, this brief breathing exercise and full release of the body and mind is something we want to do as we take moments throughout our day to reflect, making sure we're reflecting on how we're perceiving things, what our attitude is about things, how we're reacting to things, and also how we're receiving things. It's essential for us to get into this space of total release of the body, of the mind, and go into reflection so that we can see. So let us do that practice right now of that full total mind and body release. First, you want to find yourself in a comfortable position. And immediately begin to tune into the breath, making those inhales deep through the nose and allowing yourself to exhale through the mouth or nose, whichever one you choose. Making an intention to slow the breath all the way down. The idea here is to slow the breath down and slow the heart rate down. So those first deep cleansing breaths should be very relaxing. As you continue to breathe with each exhale, relax. Really make that inhale count. Inhaling deep, deep, deep as you can go, expanding that body, breaking up stagnant energy in the head and the neck and the shoulder. And inhale deeply. And as you exhale through the mouth or nose, really feel your body relax and release. Just know that every inhale opens up every corner of the body, the mind, the soul, the cells. So really inhale deep, bringing in that oxygen for the body. And when you exhale, allow every place in the body to soften, release, relax. We often hold tension in the jaw, so drop the jaw, release the forehead, relax. Now, as the body relaxes and the body expands with the inhale, now release the mind. Be empty. Take no thought about anything. Focus your intention and attention on the breath and the body. It is in this state, this relaxed, empty, quiet state, where you want to ask, you want to affirm, you want to express. Before you approach the Almighty within yourself, be sure that you come into this space of fully release and relax. So that this is the form of taking off your shoes. So allowing yourself to be relaxed. And when you do this relaxation, you're able to be open, you're able to see, you're able to hear, and you're doing all of this within. And I encourage you, don't move. Allow yourself to relax deeper and deeper. Don't move until you're able to really hear and you're able to really see. Take one last deep breath in through the nose. Deep, deep, deep as you can go. Deep, deep, deep as you can go. Hold that breath as long as you feel comfortable. And when you're ready, release all the way out, exhaling through your nose or mouth. appreciating this moment of relaxation. I pray that you are able to take this feeling of groundedness and relaxation throughout the rest of your day. I encourage you to spend the rest of the day in reflection of the things we talked about today, the things about release, the things about perception, the things about attitude. And I pray that this is some great journaling prompts for you as you are experiencing shifts in your life. We give thanks for you joining us this Sunday. Giving thanks for Mama Alma's presentation earlier today as well. That is going to be on YouTube as a separate replay from this. But thank you so much. Happy Sunday, happy full moon. Full moon is tomorrow, close to midnight. So you have time in this full moon energy. If you want to join the meditation call is on ouministries.com, the website on the calendar. You'll see the meditation you can register for. I'm going to do a full moon meditation tomorrow. I think at 6 or 7, one of them is on the calendar. But thank y'all for joining. If this message was something you feel somebody else should hear, absolutely, once it's uploaded, share it with them and let them know they can tune in live every Sunday except the last at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. If this was a good message for you, want to show your love, or you just want to show your love in general to OU Ministries, you may do so at the same link you tuned in to tune in live. There are 3 ways that you can support by giving. Mama Alma is dropping her GoFundMe link in the chat room as well. So if you're interested in supporting Mama Alma and those things that she's doing, you may utilize that. And I'm going to drop that in the caption of the replay as well. All right, y'all. Well, peace and love. I pray that you take away the message. Okay. Making sure that we're not just looking for outer release, but remember that it starts within. The inner release is necessary. That's why we're not seeing that outer release, because it's an inner job in the inner chambers. Okay. Keep the inner chambers clean and make sure you go in there. Is your inner chambers dusty because you ain't been in there? Wait a minute. Okay, go in there. What's wrong? You don't want to go in there because what's happening? You need to clean up. Okay, we need to go clean up then. Clean up those inner chambers so you can spend more time in there, because that's really where everything happens. Amen. All right, y'all. Peace and love, y'all.